What's happening, friendlies and non-friendlies? How's everybody doing? We're going to be talking about Voldo's back turn. It's quite underdeveloped, and this game is certainly not purposeful as it is in later Soul Calibur games. Plus, being back turn is one of the most dangerous things that can happen to you in Soul Blade. You have a recovery period to get out of back turn status. For Voldo, not having any safe way to enter it, it's just not a strong tool for him at face value. However, there is use for it that is unique to this game. Voldo enters back turn more efficiently when you do it manually, which is quarter circle backwards. Now in back turn, normally you can only run away from the opponent. You can only move away from the opponent. That includes jumping away from the opponent, because if you ever try to go towards the opponent while you're back turn, your character turns around and faces them instead. However, at the initial point of back turn, your controls are flipped around, allowing you to move backwards and also allowing you to jump backwards for the initial moments of back turn. In this case, since your controls are flipped around, moving away from the opponent moves you towards the opponent. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a jump away, and that's going to make Voldo jump towards the opponent. This creates an unblockable scenario for Voldo, where he has the ability to juggle off of a back turn landing kick. Lilong's the only other character who can back turn manually, and he does not have the ability to do this. Voldo does. Back turn manually and set up an unblockable cross up. Potentially, we can also implement the difference between a normal jump and a committal jump with a weapon button. Voldo will jump further back, but if you do it with a landing kick, which is his most damaging tool for him in this scenario, he'll jump a shorter distance. So you can also vary the distance that you jump to suit your needs as you see fit. Now, I thought that was gonna be it, but it turns out we got some new findings in Soul Blade that allows every single character to do something similar. Now, Voldo and Lilong, they're the only ones who can enter back turn manually because they have command inputs for that. Other characters will have to rely on jumping over, which is not complicated. It's very easy to do, but they don't have a manual command input, which means they don't get the reversed control aspect of it. Instead, they have a more challenging way to do it. You can exploit the prevention system that prevents you from jumping backwards to get the unblockable cross-up by entering a while standing state, and then you have to hit a just frame. What this basically means is you have to be crouching, and while you're standing, there's a just frame right at the cusp, just before the moment that your character officially stands up, is when you have to hit the just frame to go up towards the opponent, and that will allow you to jump backwards while back turned, and thus get a cross-up attack potentially, which is then unblockable. So again, you need to be in a crouching state, and you have to be while standing. At the cusp of standing, there's a just frame where you hit up towards the opponent that allows you to jump into the opponent instead of just turning around. There's another problem with that though, because when you do down and up, even if it's down up towards, that's a side step command. A way to prevent that is doing a quarter circle motion. In this case, it'll be your character's quarter circle forward input, which is based on the direction that you're facing. Quarter circle away from the opponent. And that way you can get the crouching input and still hit the while standing just frame, and that will prevent you from getting a sidestep. The other problem is that some characters have a misstep when you do a quarter circle forward. Mitsurugi, Huang, Taki, Sophidia. So these characters have a misstep where they have a different set of moves. This takes away from the immediacy of our intentions here. However, this actually makes it easier for you to do the jump over because it's a command crouch. So all you have to do is then hold up towards the opponent and you will 100% of the time get the jump over. Now, if you wanted to avoid that, you realistically only need to do the down and diagonal input. You know, technically you don't need all 3 inputs to avoid the side step. So yeah, even characters with a misstep can still do it the other way. For characters outside of Voldo and Lilong, they have to hit a just frame while standing to get a jump towards the opponent and get the unblockable cross-up chance. The worst case scenario that can happen is if you mess this up, you don't want to get a neutral jump. At all costs, you do not want to get a neutral jump because then you become a sitting duck with your back turn. And back turn status means you take 25%, a bonus 125% damage for every single ground to ground attack that they land on you. You're taking counter hit for every single hit that they land. So that's the worst case scenario that can happen. So back turn, this unblockable cross up is an investment because you have to enter back turn first in order to try to attempt the cross up. So it's a double ended blade, whatever the fuck they call it, man. It's a double ended snake or some shit. You have to invest in it to try to reap the rewards of it. Lilong and Voldo have the easiest way to do this because it's not a just frame for them. Characters with the misstep, they also have a 100% chance of doing this, but it takes them a lot longer to achieve it. And then, of course, every character in the entire game can try to hit the just frame, which, you know, there's no time limit for trying to hit it outside of, you know, just executing the just frame. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Again, I've said this before, Soul Blade, Soul Edge, I've always said it's a 2D game in a 3D world. And this just makes that even more pronounced because, like, have we been playing the game wrong all of these years? Now there's cross-ups, unblockable cross-ups, setups. What does this mean? What does this mean? I don't know yet. I'm going to experiment with it a lot more. And of course, again, you have the different jump arcs again with the committal inputs. As when you jump with A or B on your jump, your character jumps back a further distance. If you do a normal jump, which is a delay attack, or an attack with a kick, they'll jump a regular distance back, which is shorter. And if you don't press any attack button, they'll jump a far enough distance, but they'll also get a reduced collision box, so they'll be able to jump over the opponent if they're standing, whereas the other versions may collide and will still land in front and thus leave their backs vulnerable, and that's never a good thing, right? So it's a risky double-ended cake, right? Or whatever. That was a horrible choice of words. Anyways, I'm out of here. Peace, much love, stay cool. I hope y'all have a good one. Stay blessed. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Deuces.
Out of the ring. The human battle ends with the victory of touch. You win.